To get started, would you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Nathan Hughes. I studied at BYU and graduated in physics teaching. And I've worked really, really hard to study and to look at the best practices to be able to teach physics at a high level, to be able to really help the students learn and to grow, and to really take data from the students and use that data to change lessons and change things that I teach to be able to help the students to grow and to really learn the material well.
Good. So could you identify and tell me about one of your strengths?
I would say one of my strengths is being a hard worker. I really like working hard. I really like getting my hands dirty, and like I said before, getting the data from the students and looking at it and really sitting down and looking at individual students and how I can adjust my lesson plan to really help those specific students to really grow and to really start understanding the concepts better and understanding things better. And I would say that is my best quality.
Awesome. Now that you've told me about one of your strengths, could you tell me about one of your weaknesses?
Yeah, I would say that one of my weaknesses is that, like I said, I like to really plan out the lessons and really help the students to learn. And I think that sometimes when I get so into planning things out and working hard on things, I kind of lose track of really enjoying the moment and enjoying the actual teaching. And I would say that's one of my biggest weaknesses, because when I can enjoy the teaching, then the students can see that and they can really respect me as a teacher and not just see that I'm just interested in numbers or just interested in planning, And so that's something I've been trying to work on and trying to do better at, is to also enjoy my lessons with the students and to have them see how happy and excited I am with them and about their learning.
Could you tell me about a time when you had to respond to a crisis?
Yes, I had a job at BYU when I was at school there, working for a professor, and we set up the physics labs for the physics lab classes. And the physics labs need to be set up at a specific time and a specific day so that the TAs who teach those labs can work with them and get to know the equipment before they then have students in the lab that they're trying to help. And so one of these days when all these things were supposed to be set up, none of it got set up because the person who was supposed to set it up didn't come in to do it. And so it was definitely a crisis moment because we were all kind of running around. And I just arrived when it was all supposed to be set up, and I met the other TAs, and they were like, "Where's all the equipment?" And I was like, "I don't know." And so I told them that we were very, very sorry and that it was our mistake that the equipment wasn't out. But if they just bear with me, I can set up at least one station that they could look at and work on, and then I could work on the other stations. So they agreed, and I also asked if they could please help me, and they did. And so together we were able to get the lab out a lot faster, and they were able to look through it in the time that they had left. And they had sufficient time because we worked together, so they were able to work through it and get the experience they needed to then help their students. So, and I think in times of crisis, it's good to realize that to take responsibility for it and not to panic and to work with the people around you to really fix the situation.
Now could you tell me about a time that you had to take initiative?
Yeah, so I think a time that I had to take initiative was at the same job where we have the lab equipment. We have the lab equipment stored in this back hallway, and it's in tons and tons and tons of shelves because there's so many different equipment that we use over the years in the different classes. And so it's all organized in a certain way that was done a long time ago, and it isn't the best way. And a lot of us knew it, but a lot of us would just keep setting it up because, it would be a lot of work to rearrange everything and do everything. But one day I decided I'd take initiative, and so I sat down and thought about where would be the best place to put everything so that we could do our job better. And so I moved a bunch of things from different shelves to other shelves that were closer to the actual classrooms that they'd be in. So instead of walking down an entire hallway to get some equipment for something that's used just in that one classroom, it was right next to that classroom. So each of the classroom's needs were right by each of the classrooms. And that helped us to really get things organized so that we felt good about it, but it also increased our efficiency because then it was a lot easier just to go out and get things and bring them into that classroom. We could do it a lot faster, and if the TAs during the lessons needed an extra piece of equipment or something, they didn't have to go too far to look for it. So,
Well, thank you so much for your input. What questions do you have for me?
a question I have for you is, what are you guys looking for? As I know you're interviewing lots of people, and so what stands out to you in an interviewer? Because I'd like to be better at future interviews.
So something that I always look for is somebody who is aligned with the qualities we're looking for in the job. As you noticed in the job description, we're looking for someone who can plan effective lessons that are in line with the mission of this high school, and who can really work with underprivileged youth. And so I look for somebody who is really touching on those pieces.
Thank you.